My dear disciples, have you ever pondered, why is it that every time we err, we face unending pain? The Buddha once said, "The one who commits wrongdoing yet knows how to rectify it is truly noble." Do you hear that clearly? Noble. It is not about never making mistakes, but about having the courage to confront our faults and the wisdom to correct them. In life, we cannot avoid making mistakes. The fortunes and misfortunes we encounter often hinge upon a decision, a word spoken in haste, or an action taken without thought. Many times we find ourselves ensnared in a whirlwind of negative thoughts and emotions. Our wrongful actions, our careless words, and even our muddled feelings can pull us down, binding us in suffering. But listen closely. The Buddha never abandons us. He teaches that as long as we turn back, recognize our mistakes, and amend our ways, we will find peace. And that is the most precious thing of all. Reflect on your lives, dear ones. What mistakes have you made? How many times have you hurt others without realizing it? How often have you overlooked opportunities to do what is right? Perhaps in the hustle and bustle of life, we have forgotten the voice of compassion within ourselves. But now, as you sit before me in this serene space, this is the moment to turn back, to contemplate, and to seek the path of redemption. Let me share with you a story. The story of a mighty king. His name was Ashoka, one of the greatest kings of ancient India, but also a figure responsible for immense suffering. In the beginning, King Ashoka was a man of ambition and cruelty. He yearned for limitless power and did not hesitate to slaughter thousands of innocent people to expand his empire. One of the largest battles he waged was the Battle of Kalinga, a conflict filled with sorrow and bloodshed. Millions of lives were taken in a moment of folly, a decision driven by arrogance. During this battle, tens of thousands lost their lives, both soldiers and civilians. Those who survived were left in anguish, mourning. Kalinga, a once thriving kingdom, was reduced to ruins, bloodshed, and tears. Millions of tears fell, and the wails of the bereaved echoed everywhere. The wounds of the soul, the pain of the body, these were the results of mindlessness and insatiable ambition. After his victory, King Ashoka stood upon the battlefield, surveying the desolation before him. Bodies lay piled high, blood staining the earth. The cries of those who had lost loved ones filled the air. Ashoka stood amidst the destruction he had wrought, but this time, he did not feel triumphant. He felt emptiness and remorse. He realized that the power he had striven to attain had only brought hatred, suffering, and despair. That night in a dream, Ashoka witnessed even more horrifying images than those of reality. The suffering of his people, the restless spirits of the dead demanding retribution. He saw clearly the anguish he had caused, and this drove him to awaken in the dead of night, drenched in sweat. A nightmare had become a profound awakening, rousing him from the slumber of power. From that moment onward, Ashoka ceased to be a brutal king. He understood that power and victory gained through the blood of others lead only to destruction. He began to repent and vowed to rectify his wrongs. He realized that life was not merely about domination, but about empathy and compassion for all living beings. Ashoka found the light within his soul and chose to pursue the path of enlightenment. Ashoka underwent a complete transformation. He renounced war and devoted his life to peace and compassion. He built hundreds of stupas, aided the people, and spread the teachings of Buddhism far and wide. He became one of the most compassionate kings in history, revered by the people. Not only did he change himself, but he also awakened the spirit of compassion in his subjects, encouraging them to live in harmony and love one another. His decisions were no longer based on power, but on understanding and love. This king, once a perpetrator of immense suffering, had become noble. The only reason for this change was he knew how to amend his ways. Do you see? It is not that he had never erred. It was that he had the courage to face his mistakes and the strength to change. He found a new path, the path of redemption and compassion. Dear ones, what matters is not how many mistakes we have made, but how we confront them. Be courageous. Dare to face your errors, and more importantly, dare to change. The truly noble are not those who have never erred, but those who have the courage to amend, those who walk the path of wisdom and compassion. Act now. Turn back and seek the right path for yourselves. Do not let past mistakes bind you in suffering. The Buddha is always there, guiding you, showing you the way. But you must take the steps yourselves. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Every time you turn to correct your mistakes, it is a step forward on the path to enlightenment. You do not only reclaim peace for yourselves, but also radiate that peace to those around you. Be like King Ashoka, who dared to change, to love, and to live a meaningful life. The one who knows how to rectify is the one who walks the path of wisdom and compassion. And that is the true noble one. Let your hearts guide you, and do not hesitate to extend your compassion to all beings. Live with love, for in every small action of yours lies the light for this world. Let your mistakes become invaluable lessons that bring you closer to the truth, to the light of enlightenment. Consider the opportunities you have missed, the apologies left unspoken, and the kindness you can offer to life. Each fragment of this existence holds its own meaning, and each of us has the potential to create wonders from the simplest acts. When we act with compassion, we not only assist others, but also nurture our own souls. It is within these small deeds that we discover our true essence. Let every day pass as a journey toward enlightenment. Live mindfully, allowing compassion to guide every decision you make. For it is only when we live authentically that we can find peace. Allow the voice of the Buddha to resonate within you and act upon the teachings he has imparted. Life is a long journey, filled with challenges and hardships, yet it is also a journey rich with colors and meanings. Walk this path with courage, and remember that every mistake, every pain, is a precious lesson. Be brave in your corrections and trust that with compassion and wisdom, we can transform not only our lives, but also this world. Live with an open heart, embracing both joy and sorrow, for it is only when we accept the entirety of life that we can truly understand the value of each moment. The Buddha has shown us the way, but it is we who must tread the path. In closing, hold close to your hearts that compassion and wisdom are the two sturdy wings that will carry you to the shores of enlightenment. Become noble in your own eyes and in the eyes of all beings, and in every breath, in every action of yours, let compassion overflow and shine brightly everywhere.